You mentioned earlier, David, about depression. Would you like to explain that to us?
Yeah, I've had depression for a lot of years. It comes, it goes. I make a joke that there's a knack to being depressed successfully. You just have to learn that a lot of the symptomatic thoughts that you have are false. But anyway, I've been exposed to one or another of most of the so-called SSRI, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, I think they're called, and they would give me some improvement, but not much. I would read stories about how Prozac would turn around people's lives, and it was like all of a sudden the sun came up. Well, that was not my experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so when I started to take low-dose naltrexone for my ulcerative colitis, my mood lifted. I'm just used to living with depression,
Mm-hmm.
but my mood lifted. I mean, it was none of the antidepressants that ever helped me, like low-dose naltrexone, was impacting my depression. And I would wake up in the morning. Now, I wasn't quite waking up singing, but I was waking up in the morning in a damn good mood.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, Cheryl, was getting her fill of it in a way. I mean, it was impossible. She also has depression. And it was hard for her to deal with somebody that would wake up, within this bright attitude. And so not only does it help my depression, she's now taking 3 milligrams a day. And you wouldn't believe the difference in her expression. I mean, she carries her body differently. I mean, her shoulders are back, and she doesn't. After a while, with depression, you get so you're walking around like you just had a good beating, and so there's a sparkle to her eye, and I feel great. So when I get over my colitis, I'm not going to stop taking LDN, but I've got another reason to take it now. I mean, it's the most effective antidepressant I've ever taken.
And are you taking anything else at the moment for depression?
No, actually, I had been taking some, and frankly, I just gave up on them and concentrated on cognitive therapy, just being careful of the ways, watching out the ways I would think, the thought patterns I would allow myself. Dealing with depression requires a certain amount of discipline, so you don't. When you think you're the worst person in the world and totally without value, that sets off a bell, and you begin to see that no, that's a symptom. That's not the truth. That's just a symptom of being depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can